Hi, my name is Michael Hughes, and this is my Week 6 assignment, Case Study Analysis on Human Behavior. The first case study analysis we're going to be looking at today is case study number 1, which is Managing Behavior of Employees in Multinational Organizations. This was published in the Interdisciplinary Journal of Contemporary Research in Business, and it examines employee performance and the challenge of obtaining optimal performance within an organization. It emphasizes that toxic behavior spoils performance of the organization as well as others, which is why the author suggests that there's a dire need to study human behavior at work and managing it accordingly. The case study evaluates previous data and research from different scientists, psychologists, and management theorists to include Maslow, McGregor, Mary Parker, and Frederick Taylor. This case study addresses the business problem of overcoming the challenge of managing the behavior of employees in multinational organizations in order to achieve optimal performance. To address the business problem, the following critical issues are listed in rank order. The first is that human behaviors differ. According to the author, employees' behaviors differ due to genetic characteristics, social culture, environmental conditions, family situation, education and training level, past experiences, affiliation with the world, physical status, position of needs hierarchy, and relation with the given situation. The bottom line is that no two people are alike. An individual's behavior can change based upon the situation. Just because they act one way one time doesn't mean they're going to act the same the next. The second critical issue is toxic behavior. The behavior of one employee can rub off on another and ultimately affect their performance. To overcome the critical issues of this case study, the author proposes the following solutions. The first is selecting the right behavior employees. This is a good idea because if you start out by selecting the right employees during the hiring and recruitment process, it'll save the organization a lot of headache in the long run. The second is give behavioral training to employees. This establishes a general understanding of human behavior and impacts it can have on the organization as a whole as well as other employees. The third is maintain a positive image to control behavior of employees. So basically, in a nutshell, this is making sure that the managers are viewed in a good light. So one of the ways they could do this is by listening to their employees. The last one is to fire employees whose behavior is not positive towards an organization. The author suggests that a toxic behavior employee is not born, they're made. So if they're managed properly, they can become efficient employees. But as a last resort, if they can't change, they should be fired. In addition to the author's proposed solutions, here's a list of recommendations they could also use in order to overcome the challenge. First and foremost is to gain understanding of what has influenced a certain type of behavior. Once you understand it and acknowledge it, it can be fixed. The second is give routine feedback. Some people just need feedback, or they just don't realize what they're doing wrong or how they're behaving. So therefore, by providing feedback, you can address those issues and bring self-awareness. The third is find out what motivates your employees and use it to influence positive behavior. People are motivated by several different things, but one could include time off. The last one is set clear expectations. In other words, make it clear to the people that you manage what you expect from them and what types of behavior is acceptable and what is not acceptable. The second case study we will be looking at today is the effects of career plateau workers on in-group members' perception of PO fit. This was published in the Employee Relations Journal. The purpose of this case study was to examine the effects on in-group members of an influential worker's response to being in a state of career plateau. With this being said, the business problem that's addressed in this case study is overcoming the impact plateau workers have on in-group members and their behaviors. A plateau worker is basically somebody who either doesn't have the ability or desire to move up the ladder, or they just don't have the opportunities within their organization because there aren't any openings. But the common theme is that upward career mobility is very unlikely. An in-group member is a coworker of a career plateau worker who potentially can identify with that plateau worker for such reasons as proximity, similarity, or perceived potential that they'll share the same fate. The critical issues that are addressed in this case study in rank order are listed below. The first is plateau workers can influence the behavior and attitudes of in-group members they are associated with. This is because if an in-group member sees that an ineffective plateau worker is unproductive and they're absentee, they withdraw, and they change jobs frequently, this can obviously have a spiral effect and affect others in the organization as well as their attitudes. And the last one is career progression opportunities are dwindling, resulting in more plateau workers. It's no surprise that this is an issue because a lot more organizations are trying to do more with less. To overcome these critical issues, the author proposes the following solutions. Create an environment in which career plateaus become career pinnacles. So in other words, always have or structure your organization in a way that there's always forward mobility. The second is change characteristics of the job or the scope of the job. In other words, they could add additional duties. Third is use job rotation and skills cross-training. You're always giving them an opportunity to do something different. The fourth is utilize alternate awards programs in lieu of promotions. In other words, you could give bonuses, days off, recognitions, and award ceremonies. And the fifth is offer outplacement services and incentives for early retirement. All of these are great solutions to overcome their problem, but the major emphasis is on getting in-group members to identify with the organization and not plateau workers. In addition to the proposed solutions offered by the author, here are some additional recommendations. The first is give feedback and offer opportunity to change. Any of these situations can be fixed. The second is assign plateaued workers with experienced mentors. These mentors can not only influence behavior, but they can also give these plateau workers, delegate some of their tasks to feel like they're accomplishing a lot more than what they are. The third is find outside opportunities that will challenge the individual while being beneficial to the organization. For instance, they could take school, classes, training, and do volunteer work. All of these will build a sense of accomplishment and fulfill their time. The fourth is reorganize organizational structure. This is by far the worst case scenario because you don't want to have to reorganize your organizational structure if you don't have to. But you could to create some more opportunities for upward mobility. After discussing both of these case studies, here are a few key takeaways. The first is that behavior of one can influence another, and if it's not addressed promptly, it can spiral out of control. The bottom line is that there's a dire need to understand human behavior in the workplace and manage it correctly because it has a major impact on organizational performance. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.